I feel sick to my stomach right now at what I've just read. Daniel Kretinsky is blocking Amanda Stavely's purchase of the Gold family shares by exercising his preemption rights to purchase them himself, while also selling 2% of his shares to one of his Czech mates. Therefore, he doesn't have controlling ownership and isn't forced to buy the Sullivan shares. I honestly feel like he's blocking us from the best opportunity this club has had to have a proper, exciting, ambitious ownership with Amanda Staveley and her consortium, and our best chance of having that awful athletics soulless bowl rebuilt into a purpose-built football stadium we can be proud of, because I believe that that is part of Amanda Staveley's plans. There's a lot of talks that that's what she's looking to do, is buy the stadium and the surrounding land. There was a picture of her meeting with the stadium owners recently, and I just don't fully trust Daniel Kretinsky at all. The guy that has been here for 4 years now has seen this club deteriorate over time and just sat in the background silently doing nothing. These gold shares have been available to buy for years, and he didn't do it. This whole play that he's making right now could have been done 2 years ago, but he didn't do it. He waited and waited till we got relegated. We never have any luck when it comes to ownership. Now, don't get me wrong, listen, I'm taking Kretinsky over Sullivan all day long, and we'll be in a much better shape under Kretinsky than we would be Sullivan. But I can't see Kretinsky going as far to rebuild that stadium as I think Amanda Staveley would, and the money that they've got. There was talks about her potentially wanting to buy, and her consortium, obviously, because she hasn't got the money like that, but buy Tottenham for £4 billion. They've got £4 billion to spend. Imagine what they could do with West Ham. Now, a lot of people say that, look at how Staveley left Newcastle. Shout out to Hammer on X. I said I'd give him a shout out because I saw his sort of tweet on that on Twitter. I've seen it so much, this notion that she's left Newcastle in a mess. Let's be honest, West Ham are in a mess. The club that Kretinsky is a part owner in are in a mess. Newcastle are by far from in a mess. Let's be honest with you. What? Because Bruno Guimaraes is trying to move to flipping Arsenal. Because Tonali was sold for £100 million to Spurs. That's a mess. Let's have it absolutely right when it comes to Newcastle. It doesn't matter, right, if you're Newcastle, you're Aston Villa. When there's these top clubs like Arsenal and Liverpool and these traditional big six that come in, who have all this money, can pay the higher wages, and promise you consistent Champions League football, the food chain is the food chain. These players are going. No one's saying Villa's in a mess, but they've just had to sell Morgan Rogers to Chelsea. That is how it goes. Newcastle won their first trophy in like 70 years. Have played Champions League football twice. They're but far from in a mess. They've still got some very talented players, and because of PSR restrictions, it's hamstrung them more than they'd like. That's the reality of football. That's not bad ownership. That's just the system that's been set up. So when people say she left them in a mess, ask any Newcastle fan and they will tell you Newcastle are far better than where and how Staveley found them. See if they'd want to go back to Mike Ashley before she'd come along. Let's see if they'd like to go back to that. It's still actually a mess. They are a much healthier club than before Stavely come along. And I think there's probably, things that she learned from that. But with that, the purchasing of the stadium and the surrounding land and the commercial opportunities, that allows us to spend more money because we can make more money through that. Look at Tottenham. Tottenham are a perfect example. The money that they make through that stadium, right, with all of these events that they do, these big concerts, NFL, it allows them to go and splash 100 million on a Tonali and all this money to spend 85 mil on Fernandes. That is what we need to go and push on and go forward. Newcastle haven't got to this stage yet where they've got that new stadium built, which is that they're still planning to do that, which helps. Newcastle as it stands isn't really the sort of venue, say I love St James's Pub, it's not a venue where you go and do them sort of events. When you're a club that's not Man City and Arsenal, you have to find these other revenue opportunities to work within this PSR. I honestly think the way people are talking about, I mean, look, it's because of her that they was able to get all of these players like Tonali and Bruno and Isak and all of these quality players. I spoke to a Newcastle mate of mine, Pete, from Loaded Mag, and he was like, her biggest problem is she was like overly ambitious too soon. So she spent all of that money, but then it had PSR ramifications later on because she went gung ho and signed all these quality players for big money. But without her doing that, they wouldn't have played Champions League football and they wouldn't have ended up winning the trophy. Kretinsky could work with Amanda Stavely. They could work together. He was willing to work with Vanessa Gold when he only wanted to buy 16% of her shares. Why can't he just let Stavely buy these shares and then work together to build the club and increase the value of his shares? I really do worry about his intention, Kretinsky. This is someone that is very hands-off and has another football club. So there's question marks over, can he ever buy out Sullivan and be a majority shareholder because he owns another club? And what if we get in Europe and they're in Europe? All of this crap. It's so frustrating to be in this situation where there feels like there's light at the end of the tunnel, because I'd be confident that Staveley will come in and buy this 25% stake, help push the club back to promotion, and when Sullivan is in a situation where he's ready to sell, I'm confident she would buy out Sullivan. I'm not confident that Kretinsky would buy out Sullivan. And then a lot of people say, well, she's going to, come in for a few years and then leave. I don't care whether she ends up leaving or not, as long as we are in a stronger position. And when she found us, like Newcastle, they're in a much better shape than when she found them, and that's what I want. Because if she leaves West Ham with a purpose-built stadium, us able to self-sustain and generate revenue, and having played Champions League football and all of that stuff, thank you, goodbye. Like, that is all I want. I want an owner to come in and leave us better than they found us. And Sullivan can't say that, because he's took us to a soulless Athletics Bowl and now we're in the Championship. And we was a Premier League club when he bought us. Whereas Staveley, I don't care if she's here for 3 years or 30 years. I care about the state of West Ham. And the stadium is still the biggest issue for me. West Ham fans deserve a proper, purpose-built, quality football stadium. And I just can't for the life of me see Kretinsky doing what needs to be done with that stadium. I can see him making improvements. There was talks about him using Brady's plans to improve the stadium. That's not good enough. It's not good enough when there's potentially someone here, there that can rebuild the whole thing. And this is the thing for me with Kretinsky now. Like, if you're going to do this, man, I'm holding you to a standard that I feel like we would have got with Stavely. Like, you need to go and make sure you're doing as much, at least, as what they could have done. And look, I know it's all speculation. I don't know for sure what they would have done. But I think we can have a pretty good guess. It's out there. I hope there's still a way for Stavely to come in. She'd have to buy the Sullivan shares. And then she could maybe buy out Trip Smith and the others and still have more than Kretinsky. But it's so hard to see it right now. Sullivan's probably sitting there laughing his arse off. And let me tell you something else about Daniel Kretinsky. It's been reported that the stadium owners have advised David Sullivan not to attend home games, which he is defying, and it said the club are going to accommodate David Sullivan. So, Daniel Kretinsky, who is a board member, one of the main board members with Vanessa Gold, the co-chairman, wants to accommodate David Sullivan, who's not allowed to attend women's games or training. He wants to accommodate him at West Ham. And this is the guy that a lot of West Ham fans feel like is the best option and has the best interest of West Ham. I just want the best for the club. I want the best possible outcome for the club. And I believe that that's Amanda Stavely and not Daniel Kretinsky. And he talks about his proposal being the best option for stability for the club. I don't want stability. I want ambition. I want ambition. I want to drive this club to heights that we've never seen before because of everything that we've given up. I want to be where Villa are. Just playing Champions League football, winning bigger trophies. And ultimately, like I said, I want a proper home for West Ham. Our own purpose-built football stadium. So, I don't know. I've rambled on long enough. We sold Freddie Potts, which I think is a joke. I really think he would have been good for the Championship. And we're selling, and we're selling well. Even the fee, it was 12 million, I think it is, we got for Freddie Potts. It's good. We're selling brilliantly. We have yet to buy a single player. And this is Kretinsky era. Where are the purchases? We're about to start the season with a weaker squad than we came into the season. Massive holes in this squad. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too emotional on this, but I don't know, man. I really, it's something I've wanted a Stavely takeover for a while. And I was finally getting it. I was so happy. When I reacted to it, I was so happy, so excited. And it's gutting. It's absolutely gutting to have the rug pulled out from under us like this. From a guy that's worked hand in hand with David Sullivan for the past 4 years. I don't know. I can just hope for the best for West Ham and hope something happens. But yeah, we'll see. I'll keep on top of it and see how this develops. Hopefully there's a twist in this tail and Stavely just don't just walk away and go and buy someone else. Because I honestly think that she's in it to build the club. So we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. Check out OK Jerseys and all of that stuff. And they got the new home shirt on now, which I'll definitely be getting. So thanks for watching. One thing left to say. Come on, you irons.